All right. Thanksgiving is sure to look a little different this year with the coronavirus taking a devastating toll on the country. But the same thing is sure to be on everyone's mind: politics. Karith Foster is a motivational speaker, author, comedian, and diversity engagement specialist, and is here to help us figure out how to talk turkey without ruining all our relationships over the Thanksgiving dinner. And you know, how can you not talk about the presidential election? It's still going on. They're still counting ballots. Karith, things are still. Yeah, it is still happening, and things are still quite contentious when it comes to politics. So I guess my first question is, should you just avoid the topic altogether when you gather or Zoom in with your family?
I think that needs to be almost like an individual decision, like per family. Some people live to talk politics. We've always talked politics, and we've always had topics that have come up during the holidays that you should probably avoid. And I think setting some ground rules is a great way to start. Just kind of laying the foundation, like, listen, this year we're not going to talk about this, this, and this. Having boundaries, that's not a bad thing. Especially when you just want to, if you're fortunate enough to gather in person, you want to keep the mood positive and uplifting. And remember the reason for the season, right? You're there to love on each other. You're there to commune. And right now, a lot of people can't do that. So don't squander it by looking for an argument.
Yeah, but it's bound to come up. Maybe some people might set some ground rules, but inevitably, the conversation is going to meander into areas they're uncomfortable with. And, we're living in a time where people get different facts. The truth of the matter is, depending on your source material, to use sort of a journalistic phrase, you might have a totally different idea of what's happening in this country and where this country is going. And, what you might consider a fact, other people will consider just a blatant lie or not true or not a fact at all. How do you deal with a situation where you're talking to a relative and in your head you're thinking, none of what you say is true or a fact, and I know I can verify it? How do you diffuse that situation?
This is where you say, listen, I understand that's your opinion and you're entitled to that. We will have to respectfully agree to disagree. And I think that's honestly how you diffuse things, because this is what we have to weigh. What are you getting out of being right? What does that mean for you to win an argument, right? Is it at the expense of a relationship and one that you value and you care for? People are entitled to their opinions. Not everybody's getting their information from the same sources. There are going to be varying thoughts and ideas about what's happening with the country, who the leaders are, who the leaders should be. And to truly, if you want a copacetic state of affairs for the holidays, you have to be able to agree to disagree. This means being mature. This means, putting on your big girl or boy panties and saying, listen, you know what? I'm not going to go there this time.
And I think that, and I'm sure you're going to agree, that the words that we choose are really important. We've seen a lot of stuff on social media. People can talk real reckless on social media, especially if they're just kind of, sharing something, that a meme or something. They can, ways in which they would never talk in real life, they use language on social media that never goes away. Like we remember what that crazy uncle posted. But in real life, your language can make a huge difference. And I find that when we talk about differences nowadays, it's more than just a political difference or a difference of opinion. We go straight to the person's character. Like, something's wrong with you. Only an idiot would think this way. And I think that's part of the danger of these conversations, is we're not just saying, oh, you have a different opinion. We're saying something's broken in you because you have this different opinion.
You are absolutely right. We have to remember the power of words. And I believe it was Maya Angelou who said, people don't necessarily remember exactly what you say, but they remember how you made them feel. And that is attached to the words that we use. So we must be cognizant of what we're putting out. If you know that you wouldn't want it said to you, you have to think about it in that respect. And I know things can get heated, as they have been, especially, when we're in close quarters and people have such divergent thoughts and beliefs. But coming from a place of love, I had a professor who used to say, when you come from a place of love, that dictates the mood and the environment. And I know people think love is, all out there and idealistic, but the reality is, love is where we have to place our attention right now, because we need it more than ever. We're distanced, not just socially, but also because of, where we are maybe politically. And we have to remember that this family is family, and blood is thicker than water. And,
Yeah.
politics are always going to change. We're always going to have new people coming into power. But what is constant is our family. And we don't know how long we're actually going to have them. Things can change instantaneously, as we've seen, from this disease and just from experiencing life. So to value that time with your family, to not let politics take the precedence over how you engage and how you act, and choose your words, choose how you're going to engage with someone, because it is important, and they will remember how that makes them feel.
Yes, these are relationships you had before this chapter, and you'll have long after this chapter is done and over with. And I think that's a great question to ask yourself before you open your mouth. Is this coming from a place of love? Karith Foster, I think you probably saved many a family with this conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.